searching for a friend like Jesus. It's time to share, there's a world out there. Let's tell him that he loves us so. Let's tell him that he loves us so. Kids time, kids time, kids time.
Hi, boys and girls. Have you ever wondered what you look like inside your body? Look, you can see all my ribs. Well, actually, this isn't me. It's actually a picture of somebody else's chest. But can you see the curving bones of this rib cage right here? Perhaps you've had an x-ray taken at some time. Maybe if you've ever twisted your ankle or you've fallen or cracked your collarbone. You know, you probably had to go to the hospital for an x-ray. Now, the x-ray technician, he would have helped you lie down on probably a hard, cold table, and then they would have positioned you just so on a huge camera over the part of your body that hurt. When you were all set, the x-ray technician would have ducked into a little room and told you to hold your breath and snap, your picture would be taken. Now, if you ever get a chance to look at your x-ray, you might say, that doesn't look like me. And you know what? It probably doesn't. At least not on anything on the outside that you've seen before, because x-rays don't take pictures of your outside, they take pictures of your insides. And some people, with great imaginations, they've thought up stories where human beings could look at people with that, what they call x-ray vision. Now, they've made TV shows and movies starring people who can supposedly look into another person's body, see their minds, and read their thoughts. But you know what? These stories are only pretend. For no human has ever been born who can actually see inside someone or read their mind. But I know someone who can. And that someone is Jesus. You know, he doesn't need an x-ray in order to look inside of us like this one. In our Bible story today, we'll hear that human beings look on the outside of a person, but God, he looks on the heart. You know, I'm glad that's true, because human beings can often misjudge us. They jump to the wrong conclusions about the kind of people we are simply by the way we look. But Jesus, he looks on the inside, and he never, ever misjudges a thing about us. He always understands just what we're thinking and why we feel and act the way we do. Aren't you glad you have a best friend like that? I am. Now let's listen as Ranger Jim tells us some interesting facts about tarantulas.
Hi, boys and girls. Ranger Jim saying welcome to Nature Time. We have something very unusual for you today. We have some beautiful tarantulas. We have my friend Daniel and John with us today. John is very knowledgeable about these creatures. He keeps them as a pet, and he's going to give us some information. John, educate boys and girls and Ranger Jim about these creatures.
Okay, hi boys and girls. Tarantulas. I love the pet. Very boring pet. All they do really is sit in their cage and eat whatever you throw in them for them to eat. What do they eat, you might ask me? Well, number one, tarantulas will eat anything that's probably at least half their body size, or if they're hungry enough, they could eat something even larger. Tarantulas will eat everything from insects. They'll eat other spiders, could be their own other tarantula. They'll eat snakes, lizards, geckos, toads, frogs, birds, you name it. If a tarantula is hungry, and if it's big enough, and something comes across its way, it'll eat it. Some tarantulas are even called bird-eating tarantulas because of the size of the spider itself. They're amazingly large. The largest tarantula sits alone at 14 inches. 14 inches just sitting on its table.
I wouldn't hold that one, Daniel. Would you hold a 14-incher?
No.
No.
You know, and tarantulas come from almost all parts of the world. The ones that we're seeing here, this one here is from Brazil. It's a tree-dwelling spider that Jim is holding. And boys and girls, my buddy Daniel here is holding what's called a black beauty. It's from again, the jungles of Brazil. This here is a tree dweller. What Daniel's got here is a ground dweller. Both come from Brazil. Now, tarantulas come from North America. They come from South America. You see them in Asia and none in Europe. For some reason, there are no tarantulas in Europe. You'll also see a couple types of spiders in Australia. Are they dangerous? Very much. Not to scare you here, Daniel, The ones that we have here are very docile. Yes, all tarantulas are poisonous. Now, can that poison hurt you, though? The answer is in most cases no. But there are some that have venom that can do damage to your skin, to your nerves, to your body. Always have mom and dad with you, boys and girls, if you're going to be playing or holding tarantulas, or if you go to buy one in a store for a pet, because they do sell them as pets. And the ones that they sell as pets are also very docile and very tame. Otherwise, they wouldn't be selling them. The types of spiders I have, I get them from specialty stores. So I could get spiders from Asia, I could get them from Africa, I could get them from South America, North America, all different kinds. If you're not experienced enough, though, they're not going to sell you one that can be dangerous.
How much would it cost, John, to buy if you were going to take this as a hobby?
This one that Daniel's holding right now could be almost $100. The one that you're holding there could be about $70 to $100. The larger the tarantula, the more expensive the tarantula. The less popular, or the ones that are not so available tarantulas, those are the ones that are going to cost you some more money. Speaking of money and speaking of things that we feed tarantulas, I want to show all you boys and girls. Can you see these? These are South American cockroaches. I'm going to try to pick one up here. That's how big these are. What I'm going to do, number one, I try to raise tarantulas. I try to raise them. I also try to raise these, which are called South American cockroaches. I'm trying to raise a colony so I don't have to keep buying them all the time, and then I can have babies of my own. But what we're going to do with this one here, we're going to put in a tarantula's cage to see it eat it. Boys and girls? All right, let's put one in. How about this cage right here? Let's take a look and see what happens. Wow, he took that right away. Do you see that, Jim?
Man, he's hungry, isn't he?
That cockroach is hanging in its fangs. And one thing about these cockroaches is they take a long time to die. So that tarantula is going to be eating for quite some time. Number one, it's got to kill its prey. Number two, after the prey is dead, then it'll start munching on it. So right now, it's got to do its thing first.
Look at our friend Daniel here. Look at this. He's handling them like a professional.
Yeah,
isn't this neat?
And we're not even paying attention to Daniel. Daniel's an expert already.
All right, isn't that neat?
My 4-year-old son also holds some of my spiders. Of course, I only have the docile ones that he will handle. So if you know what you're doing, if you have a gentle, docile spider, anybody could handle these if you don't have the fear.
All right. And we've got the tarantulas to see and enjoy. Boys and girls, I've enjoyed it so much today. I've never had an opportunity to hold the tarantula before and handle them, but we find today that the tarantulas, like all of God's creatures, have so many wonderful, interesting things about them. So don't forget to tell Jesus that you love him, because he really does love you.
Hey, Britt, how you doing?
Good, but I can't find Titus.
Can you say the books of the Bible?
Genesis, Exodus, Leviticus, Numbers, Deuteronomy, Joshua, Judges, Ruth, 1st and 2nd Samuel, 1st Kings, 2nd Kings, 3rd Kings, 4th Kings, 5th Kings, 6th Kings.
Britt, I don't know if we have a book for all those kings, but we do have a song for all those books. We're going to sing a song about the books of the Bible.
Genesis, Exodus, Leviticus, Numbers, Deuteronomy, Joshua, Judges, Ruth, 1st and 2nd Samuel, 1st Kings, 2nd Kings, 1st and 2nd Chronicles, Ezra, Nehemiah, Esther, Job, Psalms, Proverbs, Ecclesiastes,
Boys and girls, we'd like you to try that with us. Do you think you can keep up?
Genesis, Exodus, Leviticus, Numbers, Deuteronomy, Joshua, Judges, Ruth, 1st and 2nd Samuel, 1st Kings, 2nd Kings, 1st and 2nd Ezra, Nehemiah, Esther, Job, Psalms, Proverbs, Ecclesiastes, Song of Solomon, Isaiah, Jeremiah, Lamentations, Ezekiel, Daniel, Hosea, Joel, Amos, Obadiah, Jonah, Micah, Nahum, Habakkuk, Zephaniah, Haggai, Zechariah, and the last one, Malachi.
Here we go.
Matthew, Mark, Luke, and John, Acts, and the letter to the Romans, 1st and 2nd Corinthians, Galatians, and Ephesians, Philippians, Colossians, 1st and 2nd Thessalonians, 1st and 2nd Timothy, Titus, and Philemon, Hebrews, and the book of James, 1st and 2nd Peter, 1st and 2nd, 3rd John, Jude, and Revelation.
Well, Britt, did you ever find Titus?
Yes.
It's right there.
Children, it's so nice to see you. I'm David's mother, the Queen Mother. I'm out picking flowers today for the palace, and it's so nice that I can talk with you for a bit. Because I was just thinking how not long ago it seems that David was just like you. And he was running around and having a good time with all his sheep. And he was a wonderful boy and a good helper to me and to his father. But I remember a special time, a day when Samuel came to visit unexpectedly. He wanted to come and worship with us. And when he did, he said, I want to see all of your sons, every one of them. And so we called in the sons, one by one. And my oldest was a big and strong man, and very handsome, like his father. And I thought, oh, maybe Samuel has something special for my oldest son. But you know, it has been true throughout time that man is always looking on the outside, but God, he looks on the heart. And so Samuel kept saying, no, it's not him. And one by one, our sons came to Samuel until at last they had all come, except for David. But David was out in the field where he always is with the sheep, and he was helping his father and his brothers. And Samuel said, is there not yet one other son of Jesse's? And we said, well, one more, David, who's in the field, but he's watching the sheep. And he said, let him come. I want to see him. And when he came in, oh, he was all sweaty and tired from being with the sheep all day. But his cheeks were red and rosy the way I liked them, and he smiled very big, and he was so at home with Samuel, and Samuel smiled at him too. And then he did something very special. He took out his horn with oil in it, and he said to David, I am going to anoint you king. And we were all just shocked. What? Little David, the one who takes care of the sheep, the one who is the smallest among his brothers? Why, he's just a shepherd boy. King? But it was something that God was pointing Samuel to do. For God had already seen that the shepherd boy was going to be the next king. And so Samuel anointed David, and the oil ran down his hair. And we were all happy and rejoicing, knowing that God had done something very special for our son. And the Spirit of God came on David. And David was good and faithful to the Lord. He even went to the palace to play for King Saul because David was good at the harp. And he would calm Saul's spirit when he was always upset, or somehow he felt that he was confused about what he should do. And David would play and he would calm down. And David became one of Saul's favorites. And he never assumed on the king, on the anointed of the Lord. He knew that God had chosen Saul and that he must wait his time. And so it took time to pass before David came into his own kingdom. But because he was patient, God made David a special king, a king after his own heart. And yes, David was the one who defeated Goliath the giant. And yes, David was the one that slayed a lot of the enemies of Israel. But my friends, of all the things that David did best was that David was small for God. He knew that he needed God to make him king, a good king. And you know, when people see shepherd boys, God can see a king. When people see you and they may say, well, I don't know what he will be, God may have big plans for you and for me. I know I'm the Queen Mother. I never expected to be, but I'm proud of my boy. And I know that God is proud of him too. And you know what? God is proud of you if you allow him to lead in your life too.
It is no longer I who live. It is no longer I who live. It is no longer I who live, but Christ who lives in me. It is no longer I who live. It is no longer I who live. It is no longer I who live, but Christ who lives in me. It is no longer I who live. It is no longer I who live. It is no longer I who live, but Christ who lives in me. It is no longer I who live, but Christ who lives in me.
Right now, I'm sitting here reading my mail, and I have a letter here from Brandy Umlaw from Georgia. She says, Dear Miss Brenda, I'm 10 years old and I love telling people about Jesus. I love kids' time and seeing everyone witnessing for Jesus. I love to hear people tell stories and sing. Please would you write back to me, God bless you, love, Brandy. Said, P.S. I'd like a Kids Time book. Well, Brandy, thank you for your letter, and I'll send you a book. But you know what, Brandy? Keep on telling people about Jesus, won't you? I just love to tell people about Jesus, and I have someone with me today that also likes to tell people about Jesus, and that's my friend Ben. Hi, Ben.
Hi.
Thank you for being with me on Sharing Time.
You're welcome.
Now, tell me, what have you done recently to share Jesus?
I'm selling bumper stickers for a donation.
Can you show me a bumper sticker?
Sure.
And what is, now there's a bumper sticker. Can you see that, boys and girls? It said, God bless America. Now, how many of these did you sell?
5,000.
5,000. That's a lot of bumper stickers. Now, what are you going to do with all that money?
We are going to buy books.
What kind of books?
Adults books that talk about Jesus, and they'll tell about Jesus for the people in New York.
And so you wanted to especially pass it out to people in New York?
Mm-hmm.
And
for some kids, and for the kids in New York, so that they can have some little books to look at and read.
So you're going to both buy books, two separate kinds, books for children and books for adults, and pass them out to all kinds of people so they can learn about Jesus. Well, that's a wonderful way to witness, isn't it, boys and girls? You know, maybe you have a project where you could raise some money and send that money to buy books and stories for children and adults that we can teach people everywhere about Jesus. That'd be a wonderful way to witness, isn't it? Well, right now I'd like to share a letter with you from, it says from Nassau, from the Bahamas. And let's see if I can get it open here. And this letter is from, oh, I have a picture. Can you hold that picture up for me, Ben? And while I read the letter, it says, Dear Miss Brenda, I love God very much. And I love him so much I feel like jumping for joy. I want to give my heart to the Lord. I love Kids Time and the Bible. I'm 7 years old. Love, Michael. Well, thank you, Michael, for your letter. And you know what? I'm so glad that you love Jesus. You know, won't you share him with someone else today? Tell someone else that Jesus loves them, won't you? Thank you for that letter. Then there's one here that says from Indiana. And it's a letter. It says, Dear Miss Brenda. It said, I can hardly read the writing here, so bear with me. It says, Kirsten, James, Clara, B, Regina, Audrey, and maybe Portia. I'm not sure. It says, depends on the day. We want to sing a song for Kids Time. We go to a Christian school, so we tell, preach, and pass out books to tell about Jesus' love. We all love Jesus, and we know he's coming soon. We are in 6th and 7th grades, and we want to thank Jesus for our lives and for our parents, our teachers, and we can't get Kids Time. We love your show. Bye for now. We love you all. And I want to thank you for your letter. If, boys and girls, if any of you ever want to sing or play a musical instrument on Kids Time, all you need to do is write to me, send me a video of yourself singing or playing your instrument, and send it right here to 3ABN, and I will get it, okay? So all you have to do is make sure you send me a video. I have one here from Camden, Tennessee. And let's see what, oh, we've got another picture. Can you hold this up for me, Ben? Thank you. Dear Miss Brenda, my name is Joseph, and I cannot write yet, so my mom is writing for me. I share Jesus by helping my friends and telling them about Jesus' love. I tell them that Jesus is coming soon, and I try to share him with all my friends. I really enjoy Kids Time, especially the stories and the cooking. Thank you, Joseph. P.S. This is a picture of me and my sisters, left to right, Jennifer, Amanda, Karen, and Joseph. Well, thank you so much for that picture and also for the letter. I love that. Got one here from New Zealand, and this letter says, Dear Brenda, our grandma taped 3ABN in South Africa and sent it to us. We like to share Jesus by telling people about Jesus and making cards and also sending flowers. I have a sister and a brother. Please, can I have a Kids Time book? Well, thank you, Esther, for your letter. I want you to keep on sharing Jesus, won't you? I'm sure that after you're watching our show, you'll have lots of ideas of ways you can share Jesus. Now, this letter is from Hungry Horse, Montana. And let's see, oh, this is a tiny little picture. Can you hold that up? That's a tiny picture. I hope we can see that one. It said, Dear Miss Brenda, I am 9 years old. When my family goes on mission trips, I help build churches. My older sister is writing this for me. P.S. Please send me a Kids Time activity book. Thank you. And then she also said, "Dear Miss Brenda, I drew this picture for you. And can you see this picture? Isn't that pretty? Love that. It looks like a little bunny rabbit. And thank you for that picture." And you could, boy, that was a tiny picture, wasn't it? And then I've got another one here I want to read to you from the Philippines. And let's see who this is from. Oh, another picture, boys and girls. Oh, what a pretty girl. Said, "Dear Miss Brenda, hi, my name is April. I'm 11 years old and I live here in the Philippines. Here's my picture when I'm in grade 5 last year. I shared Jesus with my friends and with my cousins who are not yet Christians. I really am interested in your show and 3ABN. P.S. Please send me a Kids Time activity book. Take care and God bless you. Love, April." And April lives in, I can't even pronounce this, you guys, but Pampanga or something like that in the Philippines. I'm sorry if I messed up that pronunciation because it's awfully hard for Miss Brenda to say. Well, I'll put that picture in here. Thank you, Ben. Well, Ben, I want to thank you for being with me on the program today and for showing how you share Jesus. And you think you'll be selling some more bookmarks? Some more bumper stickers? Awesome, and raise some more money for more books. Well, thank you so much, boys and girls, for joining us today. Remember, wherever you go, whatever you do, it's kids' time to share Jesus.